what is going on? We are back and black in the building. Shout out to everybody out there at the Court Plantation. Roll call. Shout out to Vegas. Shout out to everybody in Vegas. Shout out to all my siblings out there in Vegas. Handling business, doing what they need to do. Shout out to the homegirl Shawnee, Philly in the building. Homegirl Erica, Florida, a.k.a. Florida in the building. Shout out to her. Shout out to my brother Dave for No Compromise. Georgia in the building. Shout out to the homie James Youngblood. Shout out to that brother. Texas definitely in the building. Shout out to the homegirl, Melina, all the way in North Carolina, a.k.a. North Kakalaka. Shout out to her. Shout out to everybody, man. Get yourselves in. Man, we gonna do a real quick one. I'm about to start just dropping real ones. I gotta stick to the time because I wanted to focus on 10 to 15 minutes of real shit. You know what I mean? So that's what we're gonna start doing. That's what if you notice, I've been kind of chopping it down because I just want that quick information to settle in to make people think. I see the comments. I see what Tasha said. Shout out to Tasha. Shout out to all my siblings in Vegas. Shout out to James Youngblood, Erica. You know, I even seen Tamisha on there. I ain't chopped it up with Tamisha in a minute. But shout out to her. Man, we about to get it. Dems mentally broken? Are the Dems mentally broken? I'm about to break this down real quick. I know David and James, I know y'all gonna be like, where the fuck is he going? We gonna get into it. Let's get it. Look, this is what I wanted to talk about. My question to y'all is, are the Democrats mentally broken? Let me break this down for you. This is the reason why I feel like they're mentally broken. We're going to talk about mental health and mentally broken. When you can't manipulate a massed group of black folk, you start to see the dominant society crash out. And I really believe the Democrats are mentally broken. They're angry. They're pissed off. They're blaming everyone. And I'm so proud of foundational black Americans, native blacks, as Dr. Claude Anderson talks about. I like foundational black American. It just has a beautiful ring to it. So shout out to Tariq Nasheed coming out, coining that term. That's a dope term. So I like it. I love FBA. I love it. And the reason why I say are they mentally broken, because they have been able to manipulate and coerce foundational black Americans to vote for them for years. Now, if you have read Dr. Claude Anderson's Black Labor, White Wealth or Powernomics, I'm blanking because I ain't read the book in almost 10 years, but I know in that book, Dr. Claude Anderson, is it Black Labor, White Wealth? It might be Dirty Little Secrets. It's one of those books that I know he talks extensively about Woodrow Wilson and how he was a Democrat and how his whole plan was to get black folk to vote that way. And as Dr. Claude Anderson eloquently talks about, David would have to quote me on this, or James Youngblood, Tasha, somebody who read this book. I think it's in that book. I'm not sure. He talked about how the lynchings were at an all-time high, how we were locked and boxed out of the good paying jobs, and that was all under Democratic leadership. And the reason why I'm saying is because the Republicans ain't no better. I'll get on them in a minute as far as what we need to look for. But I feel like the Dems are mentally broken. And the reason why I feel like they're mentally broken is because of how they are going about handling the loss. Just say, hey, man, we dropped the ball. We didn't resonate with the black community. We didn't resonate with them. We shouldn't have had her out there with the Sister Girl Act. And you better thank our union member. We shouldn't have done that. That's very offensive. And we need to go back to the drawing board and figure out a different way to resonate with foundational black Americans. No, you calling us names. You're saying stupid. You got Roly-Poly, Roland Martin out there. That, you might as well call him Rock Roller Head big than a motherfucker. But you got people like him, and you got other people and celebrities, you know. I think they thought that celebrities will sway foundational black Americans' opinion. No, we're not mentally broken. The dominant society is for thinking that we would just go with anything. I'm going to repeat it. Meg Thee Stallion didn't even read her own contract. So you think I'm going to listen to her and she going to get on stage shaking her ass? No, there's a time and a place for that. Love you, Beyonce, but I give no fucks about you performing, telling us to vote for anybody. No dish to you, but keep being the gargoyle that you are, as far as most of the times when it comes to Beyonce's personal views, she doesn't really get into that. She performs, she collects her paycheck, she's beautiful, she's a great performer, one of the greatest of all time, and that's what we love her for. But as far as politics, no, not gonna happen. So that I just was like, no. I said, I think they're mentally broken. They can't handle it. You see it on Twitter. You see it everywhere. I'm like, oh, they can't handle it. Because you can't control a group of people. And you said, Warren, why are you saying that now? I'm saying that because the whole time, every time you say Kamala's not black, you need to pronounce her name correctly. You need to do this. You need to do that. It was always something. So I just learned they might be mentally broken because they are losing the grip on foundational black Americans, just voting for them just because and not getting any tangibles. So they might be mentally broken. And the reason why I'm talking about this is because y'all been hearing me talk about that mental health shit for a long time. And see, what they're going to start doing is pointing the finger at us like we're suffering from drapetomania. Like they're mentally ill. There's no way they can't vote. They're voting for the Republicans. They're voting for Donald Trump. He's a racist. Is it their side isn't racist? And I'm going to tell you about how that mental health plays into it, because when you can no longer control a racial group mentally, you're going to start doing things destructive and sow discord towards that racial group. Right now, they can't really focus on foundational black Americans because, again, I told y'all, when the Republicans in his office, especially Donald Trump, he's an equal opportunity racist. So he's not going to just focus on foundational black Americans. No, he's going to focus on all you motherfuckers. And that's why everybody's pissed off, because mentally they feel like, oh my God, we're all in the same playing field. He isn't just going to talk shit about the niggas. He's going to talk shit about us too. Oh my God. And that's what I feel is going on. I can't wait till I leave y'all comments. And the reason why I can't wait till y'all leave y'all comments is because I want to see exactly where everybody's head is at right now. Now listen. Now just follow me for a second. If we have been voting one way for years and years and years and years and years, and then we just wake up and be like, you know what? We demand this and we demand that. They're going to look at you like you're mentally ill. And they're going to try to treat you that way. Because if you notice, nobody's really just saying, dog, we lost. We lost. We lost the black community. Nobody's calling out, hey, man, I think Kamala should have went another way. I don't think she should have. I think what she should have done was she should have had a strategist that was like, you know what? If you're going to pander to black community and found, you know, the grassroots black people that are stirring up the pot because they don't like what you're doing and it's offensive, just say, hey, I am East Indian and I grew up and I was immersed in black culture. I got a lot of love and respect for black Americans and what they went through and what they've done, and I'm going to be sure to try to make sure I do whatever I can to make sure they get justice when justice needs to be done. She would have said that. I think a lot of people would have been like, oh, okay, well, I might not vote for her, but I ain't gonna go out of my way to shit on her, maybe. And even if I do shit on her, maybe she keeping it real, like, you know what, I did, you know, I was a part of locking up a lot of black people in California, and I made a mistake there. At least Hillary Clinton did say, oh, we made a mistake with the 94 crime bill. It's almost like somebody told Hillary after she lost, just stay out of the fucking media because they about to crash out and crash and burn. And they have. And I feel like what they're doing is they're mentally broken. Why, Warren? Because they can't focus on foundational Black Americans. We're not the permanent underclass mentally anymore. They can't just be like, oh, well, Black people. Now and they're really shocked that the Latino community secretly was voting for Donald Trump. Oh, they real mad about that. Oh, they're real mad. Yeah, that's what you get for benign neglecting Black folk and treating us as the permanent underclass and acting like we're just gonna always vote for you. And we have to understand how mental health works. We need to really talk to clinical psychiatrists and psychologists and let them break it down to us. We need to read Dr. Frances Cress Welsing's The ISIS Papers, and we need to stop allowing them to tell us we're mentally broken. No, they're mentally broken for trying to get a racial group to vote for them no matter what without any type of tangibles. And I'm gonna give you an example. There's this podcast I watch called Club 520 with Jeff Teague. He's played in NBA. I was a fan of Jeff Teague. I always thought he could hoop. He was cold to me. And he had the brother Josh Smith. Shout out to Josh Smith. My brother, my nigga. Man, shout out to that brother. And I'm gonna play you David, Tasha, Shawnee, Erica, James Youngblood. Y'all know I've been talking shit about that fucking mental health shit for a long time. Remember, I kept saying y'all better stop adopting that mental health shit. I want y'all to hear Josh Smith, an ex-NBA player who played for the Atlanta Hawks. I want y'all to hear how he speaks about mental health and how imperative it is that we understand what's going on. So let me find this video. And I'm gonna play it. Just listen. Here we go. I just really want y'all to listen to this. I really want y'all to listen.
Oh, nah, for sure. We gonna
so we talk about Mike. Oh, I love this.
Yeah,
Not yet.
So what game do you have for the youngin, the 22, 23-year-old getting 200-300 million?
This is his advice for the young kids that's coming into the NBA. I want y'all to hear this.
And he's dealing with say he's in cause ain't no nigga in Utah getting no coochie roll.
Yeah.
But I'm talking about the younger getting 300 million in LA, Atlanta,
It don't matter
Houston,
where you
Dallas.
Okay.
But I'm just saying those are the premier.
You know, just stay focused, kid. You know
There we go.
what I'm saying? Stay focused.
Lock in, King.
Lock in. You know what I'm saying? Just lock in. That's all I'm saying, man.
Yeah.
Keep the main thing the main thing.
Facts.
That's basketball.
Yeah.
Right? When they
Yeah.
want to talk about politics, veer that shit back into basketball.
Bingo. Like they tried to do Usher. Remember when Usher went on, AKA Usher? Remember when he went on The View? And they were trying to badger him about politics, and he's like, oh, I don't get into it. Where Usher fucked up was, and then he on stage with Kamala. Then if you don't get into it, you shouldn't have been on stage. Because now, the next time, people could go back and be like, you're a flip-flopper. Why didn't you want to like, we have to understand these things.
Sir. You know what I'm saying? Like, nobody cares about what your personal thoughts are. You know what I'm saying? And what I got to say about this mental health shit, can I?
Listen to this. I want y'all to listen. David, James Youngblood, Tasha, really listen. And I'm going to say it again. I've been talking about this shit for years.
Talk about that?
Go crazy.
Bro, stop admitting to that shit because they're going to write your fucking ass off.
I'm going to rewind what he just said. My nigga, I'm going to remind you and rewind it so you can hear what he said about that mental health. He just said, stop admitting to that mental health shit because they're going to write you off. Man.
Not yet.
So what game do you have for the youngest getting 300 million in LA? Yeah.
Keep the main thing the main thing.
That's
basketball.
Yeah.
Right? When they
Yeah.
want to talk about politics, veer that shit back into basketball.
Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying? Like, nobody cares about what your personal thoughts are. You know what I'm saying? And
Facts.
what I got to say about this mental health shit, can I talk about that?
Go crazy.
Bro, stop admitting to that shit because they're going to write your fucking ass off.
Woo. That is the coldest thing I have ever heard a basketball player, an NBA basketball player say. And I've been saying that shit for years. Stop admitting that. Look, we all love the Breakfast Club and we love Charlamagne. Look, Charlamagne is around people that have power and money. So their views are going to be flexible and go back and forth. But the average person that's going to work every day ain't got time to be talking this mental health shit because they're going to write you off. Go on your job and talk that mental health shit and don't get no real help. They're going to get you out of there. The first mistake you make, they're going to be like, oh, well, they said they were mental, so, we're going to have to go ahead and part ways. You can't do what Charlamagne the guy do. Oh, mental health is, stop doing it, because when dominant society pushes something, step back and say, well, why the fuck they pushing that? Just like those electric cars. I don't give a fuck how rich Elon Musk is, and I'm going to get on him in a minute. That don't mean you go buy no goddamn electric car. You ain't seen Leave the World Behind? But anyway, let's listen.
Stop admitting to it.
On me.
If you admit, like, the only reason that a black kid that makes it to the NBA is mental health is because they're there because of, they're not there because of basketball. Mm-hmm. Be there because of basketball. You have mental health because people are walking past you not asking you for an autograph. Mm-hmm. Or these females are not. They're not accessible like they used to be.
Or the internet fucking with your brain.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like that's mental. That's where your mental health kicks in at. Yeah. You're not really mental health. Lock in. Lock back in, man. Find your purpose.
I mean, but some people do.
That's a fact. Lock in and find your purpose. Stop running around here letting the dominant society give you these talking points about, my mental health. You're not part of the dominant society. You can't be running around talking about your mental health. Go ahead, mental health, and spend up all your goddamn money, and then you can come work a 9-to-5 job where all the rest of us niggas is at, since it's your mental health. You can't do what they do. See, when they start pushing that mental health shit, now it's something else. Now it goes from mental health to, hey, guess what, y'all? I want to be a he bitch today. I don't even want to be Warren. I want to be Michelle Obama. So I'm going to just be her today. No. And then they go mask, his mental health. So nah, And we all got family members like that in our family that's got mental problems. And what do we do when they got they got real mental problems? Man, you better go sit your ass down and shut up. You know black folk don't play that shit. We'll be like, oh yeah, they got a little mental problems. But when they get out of control, what happens when they get out of control? Hey, man, you better shut up, sit down. We ain't got time to be playing. You doing too much.
There's some traumas from, like, childhood and...
From basketball?
Nah, but...
How do you get that far?
Ooh, because Jeff Teague is like, you got to give some people that got mental problems. Josh Smith is like, well, then how the fuck did they get to the NBA then? If your mental health was that bad, how are you able to get up in the morning, put your clothes on, go to school, go to practice your ass off, train, lift weights, go home, and do the same thing over? If your mental health is that bad, then you shouldn't be in the NBA.
And then now it's mental health. Real people go through that stuff.
Thank you. Man, I'm so thankful for Josh Smith. I always liked Josh Smith, too. I always thought he was a cold-ass basketball player, but, man, he just don't know. And y'all know. Leave y'all comments. Y'all know good damn well I've been talking this shit for at least about 3 or 4 years. Like, hey, y'all better stay away from that mental health shit. Stay away from that. Look at the Menendez brothers. These brothers are trying to get out of prison on some mental health. Oh, my daddy touched me and it's mental and it's driving me crazy. And they gonna get out of prison. I want to see how many niggas use that mental health and get the fuck out of prison.
Things like, mama raised you, daddy wasn't around, or vice versa. Like, I understand.
You don't think that played a part in, like, your life as a basketball player?
How did you make it?
How did you make it then? See, because that's what the dominant society I have black folk thinking. Oh, well, you got a mental problem. I'm going to repeat. We all got family members in our family that got real mental problems. And what do? You know how black folk are. We will diagnose you in a minute. Hey, man, what's wrong with that nigga? Oh, man, he got mental problems, man. Don't trip. He's a little mental. And we point to the head. And then we just keep on doing what we do. You know what I'm saying? We don't sit up there and be like, oh, my God. A little Cavion got a mental problem. Everybody stop. Let me tell you what I used to do. Let me tell you what I used to do at my mama's house. When you got a mental problem? I would start clapping and say, and the award goes to. Or I would say, everybody look at such and such. And the whole house would just look at that person. Oh, I'll make you get up out of that mental problem real quick. And black folk will make you get out of that. Go to your family and tell your family your mental health is what is at stake. They gonna be like, man, if you don't get the fuck away with me with that fucking mental health shit, I done worked this job for 40 years. Stop. I don't want to hear that bullshit. Let they asses keep talking about that mental health. Let us be the strong gods that are living in human form every day. Let us be that. We're socializing the children that your mental health. That's just because little Timmy and them talk crazy to their parents. So he going through a mental problem. Stop. Then if that's the case, then everybody need a mental health. Stop. Then if that's the case, then why don't these corporate plantations give us a mental health week where we don't have to go to work for a whole week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks or 4 weeks? Stop.
I mean, some people
But
are
I'm
just
saying,
talented.
how did you make it though?
Some people are just really talented.
But how did you make it though? It had to be something to do with your mental.
Thank you. If you're that mentally weak, then how the fuck did you practice every day to get to that level? Because you are much more mentally stronger than you think. Don't let this dominant society come with this narrative. Oh man, your mental health. Okay, I could see a kid did all this or whatever, and then when he's in his 30s, he's tired, he's mentally stressed out. Boom, you take your little mental break or whatever, I get it. But don't be going around here at no 20 years old talking about your mental. You got your mom, your dad in your life, you got everything going on, you got the J's on, you got everything, and all you got to do is go play basketball. I don't want to hear none of that shit.
For you to lock
How
in.
did you make it?
You know,
How did you make it though?
You know, it's some people who just make it off pure talent, and when they get
Ivan
there,
Johnson was definitely one of those guys.
Man, I'm not going to go into it, but shout out to Josh Smith. I just wanted to play that because I felt like it was very imperative that we listen to that. I went over again today, but I feel like it's very imperative that we listen because what's going on right now, you're about to see a lot of mentally broken people a part of that party. But how is it they jump in and out of the mental instability when you say, oh, I don't like the way Kamala don't never answer no questions. Oh, you a MAGA. You a this. You a that. You see what I'm saying? You have to be mentally smart and understand that. Let them wear that jacket. See, they're mentally broken because foundational Black Americans, in my personal opinion, woke up and was like, no, I'm not doing that shit. That's why it was hella black people at that Trump rally. That one that he had, not just the one in Atlanta, it was one in Michigan. It was a bunch of niggas at that one. I was laughing my ass off because I was like, that's what the Democrats get. That's what you get. I don't feel bad for you. I don't feel bad that y'all mentally broken. That's why Kamala didn't want to come out and tell everybody, oh, thank you. You know, I appreciate you. But like my homegirl told me, she was like, Kamala don't owe them nothing. You know what? In my personal opinion, I agree. Why you say that, Warren? Because it's called history. It's called books. Go read them so you can understand what you're dealing with. So you're not just showing up to no rally and voting for somebody because they're pretending to be black. But you're actually voting for them because their policies are in alignment with your kids and you and their future. How could you go vote for Kamala and then all of a sudden a he bitch can wrestle with your daughter? They can play basketball with your daughter. They can be in your daughter's dressing room. Now what kind of shit is that? That's why I just be like, man, no, they're mentally broken and we aren't, and they're mad because you can't just blame black folk. Because you was shocked that them Latinos got up and went to go vote. Yep, that's what you get. Up there smiling with the Latino community. The Latino community was like, yeah, whatever, East Indian motherfucker. We ain't fucking with you. Goodbye. I'm done. Guilty, nigga. Peace.